This
in
conference will now be recorded.
that is delivered in Solution Manager 7.2. And this covers all the features that are up till SP8. So SP9 is the recent one, but all the features and functionalities that are available till SP8 will be covered. I mean, will be shown to you in the system during the training. But whatever is there in the SP9, we will be able to give you. So what are the changes that are done in the SP9 of 7.2? We'll be able to show you if we I mean if we succeed in upgrading the system before the training could end, we'll be able to show you the changes in SP9 as well. But currently, I just want to make sure that we'll be showing it to you in SP8. All the functionalities that we'll be showing you in SP8. So to start with, the training will start with the baseline configurations of Solution Manager, which is nothing but understanding of the terms like what is a solution inside a Solution Manager and what are the logical components in a solution and what is it required for how what is the structure of it technically and functionally. So how is it being used in other functionalities? To start from there, it'll go to the mandatory configurations in Solution Manager, which includes the basic preparation, infrastructure preparation, system configuration, and all those things. And then the landscape management. So how we integrate all other satellite systems. So satellite systems are referred to as all other SAP systems, which we will integrate with Solution Manager in order to use functionalities like application operations, which is monitoring, or any other change management functionalities, risk management, any other functionalities. If we want to use, how do we manage the landscape? So that part will be available, and then the engagement and service delivery. So this is a functionality that is available by default. So the service provided by SAP through Solution Manager to all the SAP systems in our landscape. So how do we use this baseline functionalities available in Solution Manager? We will start with this because this will give you the basic idea and understanding of how and what Solution Manager is and how is it going to help you maintaining your landscape in the environment. And then we'll move on to ITSM, which is the most common tool which customers use in Solution Manager. So it is the service desk functionality. We have under ITSM we have incident management, we have service request management, problem management, knowledge article, and operation tasks. So how to set up these? What are the various use cases? And what are the capabilities that Solution Manager has to offer in ITSM, which the other third parties do not have. All those will be discussed. So I'll go in detail into each topics, but on a high level overview, these are the all these functionalities will be covered. The baseline, ITSM, change management, process management, which will cover the solution documentation, business process modeling, business process monitoring, and all those stuffs. And then the requirement management, which is the new functionality which was delivered from 7.2. It wasn't available in 7.1. So this is a functionality that came into existence from 7.2 onwards. And then the test management, application operations. So application operations consist of monitoring. It consists of system monitoring, job monitoring, interfaces monitoring, cloud appliance monitoring, exceptions monitoring, HANA monitoring, BI monitoring, user experience. So all kinds of monitoring comes under application operations, and then project management functionality, and then the functionalities for upgrade and migration, which are the custom code management and the data volume management. So under the baseline configurations, we will understand the concepts on which the solution manager work. So to start with solution is the most important and and the starting point when you start setting up solution manager. So what a solution is, why it is required, and what is a logical component and inside a solution and the branch inside a logical component. So all these will be explained, and we will also help you in designing the system landscape directory, which is nothing but the SLD. So how you want to set up the SLD, how you want to design the SLD strategy. So do you want to go with a centralized SLD, or do you want a separate local SLD for solution manager? So that particular area will be discussed. and then the LMDB, Landscape Management Database. So how similarly, so once you set up the system landscape directory, then we'll be able to LMDB is almost similar. So LMDB is nothing but you are going to pull in data from the system landscape directory, and LMDB is specific to each and every solution manager ABAP stack. So if you have a Solman production instance, you will have an LMDB there. If you have a Solman development system, you will have an LMDB there. So how do you want to manage the entire SAP landscape? Do you want to have all the development systems in your landscape in Solution Manager development alone and quality in Solution Manager quality, or you want to have only the production systems in your landscape in Solman production and all the other non-productive systems in Solman quality or Solman the other Solman if you have, or if you have only one Solution Manager system, how you want to manage the landscape? So that those kind of strategies will be discussed in the landscape management database. Maintenance Planner is a tool that is available in the cloud, so in the SAP support portal. Generally, we use this tool to generate stack XML when we perform any upgrades, like SP upgrades of some components, or if you're going to perform release upgrades as well. Also, we can use maintenance planner to install a new system as well. So if you want to do all these, or if you want to use this particular functionality in support portal, solution manager is one of the prerequisites for it. So you need to have system data loaded in your solution manager's LMDB, and from there it has to be synced to the support portal, and from this particular data alone only you will be able to you will be able to calculate the stack for your upgrades. So these solution manager concepts, these are the concepts that will be discussed under this topic. And then in the baseline configuration, once your solution manager system is installed and all the basis relevant post activities are done by the basis consultant, as a solution manager, functional consultant, or solution manager consultant generally, in a project, what are the steps that are required for you to enable solution manager to be used for various functionalities? So that is what we call as the solution manager setup. So that will be discussed, and then the use of web dispatcher in terms of in Solman environment, how it is going to be used, what is the use of Trex and how it is going to be used, and what is the target system requirement, the compatibility level, compatibility matrix. So what is the minimum version required for it to be integrated with solution manager system? All those things will be discussed, and how you perform managed system configuration for an ABAP stack, for a Java stack, and for a system that runs that doesn't fall into an ABAP or Java stack configuration, for example HANA DB or BO systems. So all these for a web dispatcher or Trex. So if you want to integrate all these systems with solution manager, what are the how it should be done will be discussed under the managed system configuration. And then the mandatory functionality that needs to be configured, the EWA. So it's a very useful functionality, early watch alert reporting, because it performs a continuous monitoring of all the systems that are integrated with Solution Manager and provides you a health check report, which will give you information about any possible performance issues that you may face, or any memory bottlenecks, or about the release versions, whether you are up to date with the current market release or you are very outdated, and it will provide you recommendations. So there are a lot more than what I said now. But these are the more important thing or more useful thing which the customer feel they'll be able to extract from this particular early watch alert report. So this will be discussed. Both this solution manager concepts and baseline configuration will be done in the first. I mean, they will be the first topics in the training. Then coming to the process management. So this process management had a different name in 7.1 environment. It was called solution documentation or the project documentation. So in 7.2, it has a new name called the process management, and the functionalities that it cover are designing a solution. So designing a BPML diagram in a solution and uploading all possible documentations in regards to the that particular business process. So that's why we call it as the that's why we call it as this solution documentation. So you define a solution first, and inside the solution, you design all the business processes that are configured inside that particular solution. And to that business process, you will upload all your documentations, whether it is the FSD or the configuration document or the test documentation, everything you will be uploading it over there so that it appears as a central repository for your solution. And from where you can export all the documentations that you require anytime. So it will export a Word document, or you can even export a PDF document that will contain all the BPML diagrams and the attachments that you have added, a link to the attachments that you have added, and it'll be similar to the blueprint documentation that you can get for any projects. So how to set up this solution and how to use this particular functionality to design your BPML diagram, and how to enable monitoring for these business processes. This will be done under process management. Then the IT service management, as I said, we have five subtopics under ITSM in Solution Manager: incident management, service request management, problem management, knowledge article, and operation tasks. So how do you how are these set up first, and how I mean, if you ask me whether if I use these functionalities in Solution Manager, am I up to the ITIL standards? So how it is aligned with the ITIL standards, different user interfaces that you have. You have, I mean, specifically for incident management, you have Fury applications for which you can use for creation as well as for processing. So it enhances your user experience to a great level. So how we can achieve this best user-friendly experience, we'll be able to see, and the key features that makes ITSM in Solution Manager stand out as an exception to all the other third-party service desk tools we'll be seeing, and integration with the SAP backbone, as well as what needs to be considered if you want to integrate SAP Solution Manager with with any third-party service desk. So those topics will be covered over there, and then the analytics. So there are two types of analytics over here. One is Fury-based dashboards, which we configure using the dashboard builder, and the other one is CRM interactive reporting. So both these analytics will be seeing during the IT service management classes, and integration with SAP software components. So if you want to raise if you're working in an ECC system and you face an issue, and if you want to create a ticket once that issue has arisen, all you need to you need not separately log in into Solution Manager in a browser or in a separate SAP GUI. But from the same easy screen, you'll be able to create a ticket in Solution Manager. So how to do those integrations also we'll be seeing under ITSM. And then the change management functionality. So under change management, we have two major topics. One is the quality gate management and the change request management. And the other third topic, which is not as big as these two, but comparatively bigger, I mean, comparatively critical topic is the release management. So all these three will be covered under the change management, and inside these three functionalities we'll be able to see how what are the different ways in which the transport requests move across the SAP landscapes, and how do you perform retrofit during movement of this particular change, and what are the various standard checks available, one of which is downgrade protection checks, and how do you use this downgrade protection check and what exactly happens, and how do you use this to control the downgrade. So that we'll be seeing. And again, in reporting, we'll be seeing the analytics, how you use the dashboards, both Fury dashboards as well as CRM user interface, interactive reporting. Requirements management, as I said, this is a new functionality that was released from 7.2 version of Solution Manager. So this basically captures all the requirements. So if you see the other functionalities, they are mostly they'll be used in the post implementation phase of any project. So IT service management, handling any incidents will occur only when the system is live and it is released for the people, for the business to use. So that is where ITSM comes into place. And when any defects arise, to fix those defects, or when any incidents arise, to fix that incident, we have this change management, and then to test that particular change, we have the test management and all those things. But before the project gets started, do we have any functionalities to capture these requirements? There wasn't any until Solution Manager 7.1. There wasn't any, in the sense there wasn't any functionality with the specific feature, but we were still be able to use like we can still use the change request to capture all the requirements, but there wasn't any specific functionality to capture these requirements. But now we have this requirements management, wherein we have a set of defined process. The process, there are two types of process, like as in the change request management, we have a change request and the change document. So similarly, we have a business requirement and then IT requirement. So one part is completely with respect to the business, who are not into SAP technical development. They don't care about the SAP technical impact. They only care about the business impact, and they provide you the business inputs for the new requirements. So for those kind of audience, you have an end-to-end Fury application that allows you to create a requirement, that allows you to approve that requirement and forward to the SAP team. And when it comes to the SAP team, it's all in the CRM UI, so browser-based UI, and wherein you analyze the requirement from the business, you propose a solution that can be achieved in SAP, and all those technical discussions happen through. So this functionality is called the requirements management. The next one is the SAP portfolio and project management. So here we will not be able to use the PPM functionality because that requires a dedicated license for PPM. Other than that, the project management functionalities are listed here. So whatever is listed down in this slide, you will be able to do with the project management functionality in Solution Manager, and that we'll be seeing during the project management classes. Creating projects, assigning resource, using the resource planning, how you record time during the projects, and the project dashboards, how you can import and export projects from Microsoft project or an Excel, and all those things you will be able to see. Test management, again, like the basic classifications, manual testing and automated testing, both we'll be seeing. In automated testing, we have ECAT and CBTA. So CBTA will try to show you. We have we'll try to install the CBTA tool in a separate server, which we'll be having the training on, and we'll be able to show you. We already have documentation for CCAT on how to configure it and how to use it. So we do have documentation for each of these functionalities. So as and when we cover those particular topics, we'll be sharing it out to you. So how to set up them and how to achieve various business use cases based on the experience that we have had in the past. And when you come to the automatic testing here, we do have another concept called the T bombs. So these T bombs are used during the BPCA. So what is a T bomb and what is a BPCA? A T bomb is called, the full form of T bomb is technical bill of materials. So when you execute a scenario, when you execute an end-to-end life cycle of a business process in SAP, there are various tables that are accessed. There are various reports that are executed behind every transaction, behind every screens. So when you make a change to a particular business process, you never know what are the technical objects that are being disturbed in the backend. Oh, you never know, because there will be a technical change that will happen. There will be a functional configuration that will happen. So you don't know which areas of those business process, or which areas of other business process are being impacted by your change. So if you want to analyze this impact, you run a report called business process change analysis. So that is what we call it as the BPCA, business process change analysis. So what this business process change analysis is done will do is, it will so all the changes that you do, technical change as well as the functional configuration, will be captured in a transport request. So it will take into consideration your transport request, and it will compare the objects that are captured in the transport request against these technical bill of materials. So technical bill of materials will contain the technical tables, reports, function modules, everything that is touched during during an end-to-end life cycle of a business process. So it will compare the objects in transport request against your T bomb. and it will find intersections. So if it finds any matches, it will let you know that these are the technical objects that are involved in your change and that is involved in this business process as well. So this particular area of the business process will be affected because of your change. So it will give you such result, which you can use as a scope for testing. So this is how you will be able to handle the entire application lifecycle management. So when we go into deeper into the classes, we'll be able to see how an issue arises from ITSM and how it gets followed up as a change. And during the change, how we execute the business process change analysis. And from there, it goes to the test team where it gets tested. And once the testing confirms, the change gets moved to the production environment, thereby changing the solution, the business process diagram or the business process in the solution documentation. So the integrated approach of handling this application throughout these ALM functionalities we'll be able to see. So I just gave that explanation to explain what a T-bomb is. So T-bomb is all the technical objects that are touched during a end-to-end execution of a business process, and BPCA is the business process change analysis. SEA you see over here is the scope and effort analyzer. So the BPCA will give you the result of what are the business processes that are going to be affected, and this SEA is the scope and effort analyzer. It will give you the effort that is required to test all those business processes that are affected, which are shown by the BPCA. So this is what we will be covering inside test management. Then application operations. So application operations, as I said, will include all the monitoring. How it basically is set up, is built inside Solution Manager, is based on the MAI concept, monitoring and alerting infrastructure concept. So explaining you in detail about how this monitoring and alerting, how the architecture of the application operations. So how it reads all these data and where it gets, where it validates whether this data should be reported as red or red alert, or it doesn't have any issue, so it can be shown as green. So all those alerting infrastructure will be explained, and then the various types of monitoring, system monitoring, user experience, and all these kinds of monitoring will be we'll explain you they can be set up, again for an ABAP stack, for a Java stack, and for a non ABAP and Java stack. So when you perform any upgrade from 7.1 to 7.2, what are the activities that you need to do will be explained over here. The major thing is content activation and the content pre-activation and the content activation. So how do you have to perform that, and what are the points to be taken into consideration will be explained. So that's it with respect to the deck. So this is what we will be covering in the during the training period. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Else, I can just spare a few 5 to 10 minutes showing you the live demo system, wherein I can take you through some of the processes that I just explained. If you have any questions, you can let me know now.
Yeah, Vijay. I mean, so far we are good. I mean, I'm good from my end. I mean, what I would like to know is from solution manager from this training, what would I be able to perform? I mean, if I can get more on that, as you are
Okay.
showing,
So,
I mean,
right.
live demo of walkthrough.
Okay. So what you
Yeah.
will be able to perform is you will first thing you will have the complete understanding of all these functionalities and what a solution manager is and what is possible in solution manager, what is not possible in solution manager, and how each of these functionalities are able to function, and what are the various possible configurations that you can do. So basically, if you want to project yourself as a solution manager consultant in any project, and there is a requirement of some functionalities that needs to be implemented in that project, you will be able to say whether it is possible or not in from solution manager's perspective. So this part you will be clear, first thing. Second one, all the possible standard configurations you will be able to do from yourself for all these 12 functionalities. right? And there will be cases wherein the business certain business requirement will be very unique, so you need to build your own functional logics. You will be required to introduce your own custom logic. So we will be able to give you few business use cases, or the business use cases that we faced in all the projects that we've implemented, with which, and along with your understanding of the solution manager system, you will have to so those custom part, I mean, you will have to take care, but we will be there to give you some pieces of advice. But we will not be able to cover all the custom requirements that you might face, because we can't assure you that these are the only custom things that you will face. It is completely with respect to the business requirement. So with respect to the standard configurations, you will be able to perform all the available features in using the standard thing. So these two you will be able to achieve when you complete this training.
Okay.
So
Hey
if you
Vijay,
don't have any other, yeah,
this is
hi,
Arvind.
yeah,
Personally, my requirement, my intention is not to become the solution manager consultant, but
okay,
because I'm a functional consultant, and
okay,
but for the sake of that, I am learning this, because I want to expose to solution manager. So
okay. So
you think that whatever your classes you should take, that should be enough for me to handle and talk about, in case where I've been put into handle solution manager project, right?
okay, yeah,
Yeah, you're with me.
yeah. So fine, yeah, you will be able to do that. And
Okay.
if you don't
Uh,
have any other questions, I can just show you this demo system. Just a minute.
sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Uh, After this training, I want to
Yeah, hi,
take
hi, Max.
the certification. Yeah, is this good enough for that? The is
Okay.
would this
So,
be the
like
certification
I
or something?
said at the start of the class, the certification that is available currently for Solution Manager is only the managed system configuration part. So that is a very basic thing, and this will provide you way more than, I mean, this training will cover entire end-to-end solution manager things, which is definitely you'll be able to do the certification to answer that, but the training will provide you much more than what is required for certification. And the certification that is available now, that doesn't add any value actually. From, if you ask me, from the solution manager module perspective, that particular thing is just 1% of what you will be doing in the project. So it's just that certification just helps you, helps someone know to understand that you have an understanding of the basics of solution manager. That's it. So yeah, it will be adding some value, and this training will be enough for you to complete the certification successfully. But from my thing, just don't stop with the certification alone, because that certification is not is not going to tell that you are fit enough for implementing solution manager in a project. That just gives a representation, or just gives an impression that you have a basic understanding. So don't stop with the certification alone. But to answer your question, yes, this training will help you in finishing this certification successfully.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just opening the demo system now. So hope you're able to see my screen.
Yeah.
So this is the new version, the 7.2 version. So the one of the major change that SAP has released in the 7.2 version is the Fury interface. So which wasn't there, and this has greatly improved the way people used to use Solution Manager. And I heard, I think from Arun, that Solution Manager is delaying the process. That's a general comment which most of the customers face, but there are two things that needs to be considered in order to avoid such comments from the business. So one is, if you implement solution manager properly in the way it should be done, it will not take much time. So if people do not have you know proper good experience with the business and how to handle change, then they will be able, if you there are a lot of checks. A simple example which I can give you, in moving a transport request from development to production, solution manager will be giving you a lot of things that needs to be done. For example, before you create a transport request, you can have hundreds of checks, which if it doesn't pass, you will not be able to create a transport request itself. Once you create a transport request, before you move to quality, you can have another hundreds of checks, and before you move it to production, you can have another hundreds of checks. So 300 checks you can have before you move a single transport request to production system. All these are available by standard. If you want to implement everything, then definitely it is going to take much time. It depends on what you want. It depends on what the organization wants. So all the 100 may not be required. Only one may be required before you create a transport request, and only two may be required before you want to move to the production. So there is a difference in having all the 300 checks and just having three checks. So it completely is based on the requirement that the organization wants in handling this change, the security that it wants, and the way the functionality is implemented. So that is the first thing that determines the speed in which the items are delivered using solution manager. Secondly, if you use a system based approach, solution manager based approach, from the start itself, it will be easier for you in the longer run to track down what has gone through, to track down what was the requirement, to track down the changes in the requirement, to track down any whatever has been done, to track down it is very easy. But if it was in a different tool, again, and late, I mean, if you use different tools for handling all these things, one of the problem which we have faced a lot is you have to rely on various sources, and you have to perform there is a maintenance thing involved in maintaining or preserving the data of all these systems. But if it is solution manager, it is just one system, and normal basis maintenance will be enough for you to have all these data secure. So that is the second thing. uh, Data will not be scattered in too many places. Everything will be there in one place, and it will be easier for you to track. So this is the two things. You can compromise a bit on your delivery time, so that you will achieve more. You will achieve a lot in the long run during the maintenance phase, because you have everything in a single repository to track. So, considering these 2 points, you can very well recommend Solution Manager. I mean, these 2 points provide you much more value than that comment of delivery time. Delivery time, of course, uh, you know, delivery time is not 100% accurate. I mean, it is not always within time every time. So it is going to be delayed. So it's, I mean, compromising it on on Solution Manager, using Solution Manager will not give you any value. That's what I wanted to say. So this is the change management. I mean, you have various work centers. So all the decks that you saw. So technical system and application monitoring. So this is what is application operations. You have all the monitorings here. So this is how system monitoring will look like. So in the meantime, it loads. You have. So if you see here in this system monitoring, you have a desktop application as well as a mobile optimized application. So this mobile optimized application you will be able to access from the mobile as well. And if you want to use it in the mobile and outside the network, here is where you need the web dispatcher. So all these we'll be discussing during the training session.
So Vijay, I don't know if it is a simple question. These all these things which are visible, the tiles which are visible, these are a widgets kind of thing, right? Or to enter into that particular concept or some.
These are various applications which can be, you can remove or add them based on the roles, normal Fury roles, right?
Okay.
Catalogs and groups.
Okay.
So this is what you'll see in the mobile, various systems and its alerts. And this is what you see in the PC. So this is in system monitoring. And similarly, this is the same UI or the same way that you'll see all the jobs, all the exceptions and all those things. So I don't know if you have this dashboards ready. I'll just try to show you the dashboards, the Fury Analytics, how it will look like. Sorry. So these are the standard dashboards that are available. So when I was talking about the analytics, I told you there are two kinds of analytics. One is the Fury dashboards, which is not user interactive because you cannot change the KPIs over here by yourself. You have to configure it behind in the dashboard builder, and that KPI is fixed. And there is another. So this is the dashboard, the Fury based analytics dashboard, and all these data will be populated real time. We can just if you we can set a 5 minute interval in the dashboard configuration itself after 5, so that after 5 minutes the data displayed over here gets refreshed every time. And there is another reporting called the CRM user interactive reporting, wherein you can set the filter based on yourself. So if you want to see open incidents for the last 5 days or the last 7 days or last 8 days, or open incidents with very high priority for the last 5 days, so any criteria that you can given the you can set the filter, export the data, and generate a graph out of it. So that is called the CRM interactive reporting. What I just showed you now is the Fury based reporting. So that's it from my end. Anyways, I'll walk you through all these functionalities throughout, show you all the possible applications available inside each functionality when we go through the training. So if it is fine with you, we can we can call it a day, because it's already 8 more than, I mean, I think that was not scheduled for you all. So you're all fine, guys?
Yeah, Vijay. I mean, so we have to still plan on how, I mean, what is the duration of the course and how frequently. I mean, is it a weekly one or daily one? We still have to discuss on that. So that will
Yeah,
be
you
discussed with
can
Naveen.
touch base with Naveen on that, and
Yeah.
we'll sort it out.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's also Vijay. Yeah, about the timings and how many days in a week. So that's the one I want to know from Naveen, and
Sure.
then I'll be telling my decision. Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully I will be joining the training.
Fine.